Hey guys, so Jaguar decided this morning to release a series of old pictures of her and Goomba. But as I look at the pictures, I saw a lot of love in these pictures. They really genuinely had love for each other. And it's a shame when a relationship starts out with so much love and it ends this way. And unfortunately, it ended this way because of Jaguar, because of her mental illness. She cannot see where she's going wrong, and she keeps repeating the same old mistakes because she cannot see that she's in the wrong in this. I'm sure Goomba contributed, because when a relationship breaks up, there are two sides to every story, and both parties contribute most of the time. And I'm sure Goomba did his dirt and he is at fault also in some ways. But Jaguar is the one who contributed the most in the breakup and the breakdown of her marriage. But what was so striking about these pictures, the one that I picked out of the set that she released. So what I found striking was that she and Goomba tattooed the rings on their finger. So it was a great reminder to me why you should not put anybody's tattoo or any tattoo on your body. And I'm telling you guys, those tattoos, you got to be careful whose tattoo you're putting on your body, because when the relationship is over and done, you're stuck with this tattoo. Now you got to go pay double the money to get it removed, because from my understanding, it costs more to remove it than when you put it on. So now he got a tattoo, she got a tattoo. The relationship is, from what everyone is seeing, the relationship is over. But you never say over until the fat lady sings, right? But my point is, be careful of the tattoos that you put on your body, because as human beings, relationships go up and down. It's not going to be the same indefinitely. Even the best of marriages have hard times. They have their peaks and downs, their throws. But in terms of Jaguar and Goomba, I don't know if he's going to go back. A lot of people are saying that he's going to go back. It's open for speculation at this point, because with Goomba, we don't know from one minute to the next what he's going to do. Because although he says he's not going back to Jaguar, Nikki have her doubts, and she's the one who is living with him currently. So your guess is as good as mine on whether or not Goomba is going to go back to Jaguar, because we're not in his head to know. Because these two people are so volatile in their actions that we don't know from one minute to the next the extremes that they're going to go. But it's very obvious to me that Jaguar wants to stay relevant. She does not want to be out of the spotlight, like Tokyo Tony had advised her to stay out of the spotlight on anything she have to say, to call her and give her the exclusive. And she would tell the folks what's on Jaguar's mind. Well, I think Jaguar saw right through that, and she probably said, you know what? If there's any exclusive, I'm putting out my own exclusive. Now, today is Saturday. You guys remember Tokyo Tony said that she was going to go down there to where Jaguar is. She's not going to disclose the location, and she's going to go there and support her friend, and, they're going to talk all about it. I wonder if she is wherever she is, down there in Shreveport. Did she go down there as promised, or did she wash her hand because Jaguar could not stay off the internet? Because she did say if she surfaced on the internet that she's done with the friendship. A couple of days ago, Jaguar put out a video, and she was talking all about her sexapades, her love life with Goomba. And oh my goodness, she was just carrying on these videos. The moaning and the groaning and the honey this and the honey that, and I'm telling you, it sounded like an X-rated movie. It was so bad, folks, I could not even air it. I was going to maybe give you guys a little version of it. She put out about 2 audios. I could not do it because I would have gotten flagged for pornography or pornographic content, because it was that bad. And she was just wallowing in the memory. And she said the reason why she put out the video is because Nikki lied on her husband's penis and said it was small. And she said if it was small, I would not have been moaning and groaning like this. So Jaguar said that her husband's penis is not small. And there again, folks, when it comes to size, size is subjective. One person may think of a man as large, and the other one may think of that person as small based on their experiences. And for the woman, the man may think of you as very wide and open, and another man may think of you as being very tight. So it's very subjective. So when people get out there and they start defaming and debasing another person as to their private part, you can't really go by that because it's all based on your past experience. If you're working with a small penis, then of course the woman is going to appear very large and open. But if you got a big penis, then the woman is going to appear tight. So it's very subjective. So she put out that video about her husband being well endowed and Nikki lied. Well, Nikki is going by her experience. Maybe she's used to men very larger than that, larger than Goomba. So she's going by experience. And maybe Jaguar is going by Goomba size, and all the guys she's been with have been around Goomba size. So it's large to her. We understand that. But speaking about Nikki, Nikki did say that when she was pregnant and she met Goomba, she slept with him. They met in a barber shop. She was pregnant and she slept with him. Now, she didn't specify if it was the same day, a week, a month, etc. She did not specify the time range from meeting him to sleeping with him. But according to Jaguar, when she met him that same day, they had sex in the alleyway by a dumpster. Unprotected sex. But being that it's coming from Jaguar, I got to take it with a grain of salt because she cannot stand Nikki and she's likely to make stuff up. So until Nikki says that she slept with him the same day in the alleyway by a dumpster, that's when I'll believe it. Nikki would have to say it for me to believe it. I don't believe Jaguar. But this is what I have to say about Nikki. I'm not judging, but I'm just saying, you too hot. Because I was wondering, if you are pregnant, I think she said she was pregnant with twins, and you just met a guy, and you going to bed with that guy, and you pregnant with twins for another guy, that signals to me you're a loose woman. She said it happened again when she was pregnant with the other child, not the twins, the third child. She said she and Goomba were over, but then they met up again by chance. They had sex again. And she was pregnant for another guy. Again. And I said, Nikki, girl, you're telling on yourself. You sound like a loose woman to me. So Jaguar said Nikki lied on her husband's penis. And what I was thinking about also about Nikki is if Gerald don't have nothing much that he's working with in the private area, because this is what she told all about the trees, that he ain't shit and the sex ain't that great. I'm paraphrasing. But if he ain't shit and the sex ain't that great, why you keep going to bed with this man? I can understand if you want to help him out, but you don't help him out and sleep with him if he's that lousy in bed. You can help him out as a friend and say, I'm helping my friend out like you've been maintaining, but why you keep going to bed with him? In any event, they're supposed to be back together because she kicked him out. She brought him back in. She kicked him out again. She brought him back in. As far as I know, this is Saturday. What is today's date? Let's see here. This is Saturday the 8th, April. The 8th, Saturday. As far as I know, to date, he's back. We took him back a couple of days ago. And what I got to say about Nikki, she's very wishy-washy. I got to call it like it is. I like Nikki because I think she's good-hearted and kind-hearted. But I think she's wishy-washy. That's what I think. Because she's going back and forth. She can't make her mind up whether to keep Gerald there or to release him. She said, you got to go because you don't want to change your phone number. You don't want to change your phone number and your wife keep calling. So to my understanding, that's why she threw him out the last time. Now he's back with her. Let's see what excuse she's going to come up with next. Because to me, Nikki's very controlling. She's a mini Jaguar. Jaguar is the beast, but she's the little beast, okay? She's very controlling also. So I want to see what excuse she's going to come up with next for kicking Gerald out. Because she's going to kick him out again. She's going to kick him out again. No doubt in my mind, she's going to come up with some excuse why he got to go. Now, some people are saying they would not have had him there because he's not working. And you can't have a man at your house if he's not working. But guess what? He may not be working a 9-to-5 job, but he has income. He's bringing in a check every month from the government, $1,900. And that's steady money. That's from his VA benefits, or I think, I don't know the circumstances in which he's getting the $1,900. Maybe it's for the PTSD, I don't know. But the point is he's getting a check. So he does have income. We live in a society where it's no longer 9-to-5. You can be on the internet working, putting out videos, getting an income that way. So it's not a traditional income, but it's income. So I wish people would stop saying he's not holding down a job. You don't have to be holding down a job. He has income coming in. So he can contribute to Nikki's household. But Nikki got to stop that foolishness. You collect that money for the month in rent, $900 or $800, how much it is she's collecting from Goomba for his keep. Because as a grown man, you can't stay at people's house without contributing. We understand that. But if she's going to collect that money, she can't kick him out right after she collected. That means she's just trying to extort money out of him. Now, the next question I have, the last time she kicked him out, she collected money for the month. Did she prorate the amount of money? Because if you collect $800 from a person and you kick them out for a whole week, you're supposed to give them back some of that money, at least $200 for the week they weren't there. Did she do that? I doubt it. So Goomba got to stop setting himself up to be played for a fool by these women. He's got to stand on his own 2 feet and get his own little apartment from his VA benefits. The government have VA apartments all over that he can move into. And he can move into one of those apartments on the bus line since he's not driving. So Goomba needs to stop setting himself up for a downfall because these women are just, to me, exploiting him. That's what I see. Now, I truly understand that Nikki had to put on her foot when it comes to him not wanting to change his number, and Jaguar is calling and threatening her. But the point is, Jaguar was not calling Nikki's phone. Jaguar was calling her husband's phone. So if it comes down to the children and Nikki felt so unsafe, a phone call is not going to make her feel safe. That's just what it is, a phone call. Jaguar can pull up at any time if you feel so unsafe. You get the man out your house if you feel unsafe. And keep him out your house. Don't bring him in at your convenience because you need to warm up your sheets or you need the month's rent for his keep. Don't do that because it just looks like if you're using him. And like I said before, if Nikki feels so unsafe and she felt as though Gerald should disconnect his number and not have his wife call, that's not going to protect her. What's going to protect her is not have Gerald there at all, because his wife can pull up at any time to retrieve her husband, because some women do that. They'll go get their husbands from wherever they are. So I found it very interesting that Nikki was talking to Trees about after things, I guess, settled down a little bit, she is even thinking about starting her own little podcast with her family and have it like a family thing, a family show. She's got room in her house where she can set that up. But everybody's thinking along the mindset of making money on the internet. And there's nothing wrong in Nikki thinking that she can set something up for her family and make money that way, with people tuning in to see what she's doing with her children. And if she have anybody in her life, like Goomba. So that's not a bad idea. But my point is, don't keep kicking this man out and taking him back in at your convenience. It's not fair. So I was wondering why Jaguar's family does not step in to help her or the mother. And I was listening to King World's podcast where he had a whole lot of panel guests on. And they were saying, I know a couple of people were saying that Jaguar have been terrorizing her family since she was a teenager. In one instance, she had buried the father's suit and said that she was burying him. And the suit being buried was symbolic. And that was only on one occasion. Those are the type of things that she used to do to the family. And then on the another person on the panel said that some of her family members, like her cousins, went on the Unwind with Tasha K show when Tasha K was doing Surviving Jaguar Right, and they were talking bad about her, all the things that she used to do. And so we can forget about that side of the family helping her. They said she have a brother and a sister. And I guess whatever memories the brothers and sisters have about Jaguar, it is so negative that they don't even want to step in and help. So pretty much Jaguar have burnt her bridges with her family. And now we see this is why she wanted Gerald to burn his bridges with his family. And also, in terms of her mother, someone on the panel was saying that her mother would not leave her. And that explains it, because a lot of mothers, when you have a child who is disturbed and they've been this way from as far back as you can remember, and they grow up into this adult who still have mental issues, you want to protect them. It doesn't matter what they say to you. They can cuss you out. You want to protect them. So I can understand why the mother is with her. It's not that the mother cannot leave. It's that she don't want to leave. And Jaguar have had her mother on several videos. And her mother not once have said that she was afraid, that she felt abused in any way, and that she wanted to leave because she loves her daughter and she wants to make sure she's okay. So Jaguar goes around saying her mother is nuts, but that's part of Jaguar's illness. Everybody is nuts except her. And because we've never seen the mother in any type of mania state. Her mother may have mental issues, but Jaguar have more mental issues than the mom, apparently, allegedly. But I guess it all depends on your tolerance. For a lot of people, the stuff that Jaguar is doing, they would not be able to tolerate it. But remember, all of Jaguar's outbursts was not in the home. I'm talking about the major ones that we saw on television where police officers were involved and she had to go to the mental institution or jail. It was not in the home. Now, that's not to say that there are some major things that goes on in the home where police officers are called. I'm not talking about that. I know that happens, but I'm just talking about the ones that we saw on television, that we witnessed. All of those were outside of the home. It was somewhere else, like the barbershop, the airport, calling the detectives, going into the police department. Her mother was not seeing that. Her mother was not privy to that. We saw it on television. I don't know if her mother is looking at Jaguar's show. That's the only way she would see it. But if you're not looking at her show, you won't see those things. And this is why her mother is still there, I would think, tolerating Jaguar for all these years, because she knows the mental illness her daughter have. So now I can understand why her mother is staying. It's to make sure she's okay, to give her that support. And also, I couldn't help but think how awesome Jaguar would have been if she didn't have this mental illness. She would have been phenomenal. She would have reached heights upon heights because she's got a talent. But unfortunately, a lot of times the talent comes with a lot of side effects. It comes with a price. It comes with mental illness, because we see it in a lot of people who are very gifted. So now I want to play some of Jaguar's words from the past two videos she have put out. And it kind of explains some things. Some things are questionable because we know she lies also. But she put out a video concerning Nikki, Gerald, her mother-in-law, father-in-law, with some new allegations. Also, Bobby's shop. This is a little sidebar about Bobby's barber shop. I think she have it in for Bobby because when there was that blow up with her throwing her son's ashes, and Goomba got into that fight with Solar, and she was trying to appeal to Bobby for help, and all the fellas in front of Bobby's barbershop for help, and no one stepped in to help Solar. So she's had it in for Bobby's barbershop ever since.
At the end of the day, as you can see, Nikki is a pinhead. She's stupider than my husband. And there's nothing worse than two stupid people that think they're smart getting together and coming up with a plot, because it never works out. And the truth is, if they had been on their own all this time, it would have collapsed long before now. People need to understand that my mother-in-law, in order to remove Nikki from my husband's life the last time, she invited her over to the house and said, hey, I want to spend time with my grandbabies. Why don't you go out and have a good time and I'll watch the kids? And when Nikki left, because free babysitting is amazing, my mother-in-law, Charlotte Wright Johnson, swabbed those twins and did a secret DNA test. And then she hit my husband with it. Was like, I told you, this bitch ain't shit. I told you they ain't your kids. And you need to get rid of this bitch. And guess what? She got rid of Dirty Nikki.
A little side note here, guys. The twins have Gerald's last name, Johnson. Although Gerald is not the father. So if Nikki wanted to, she can really put him on child support. When Nikki had first came out and started to speak her truth, she said that when she was pregnant, Gerald knew those twins were not his. But in order to give the kids a father, they said it was his. She and Gerald got together and concocted this scheme that it would look good for him to be the father of these kids, to stop the questioning by his parents, when is he going to have kids? And so they decided to lie to the parents that the twins were his. So she said she didn't deceive him by not telling him that the twins were not his. She said both of them got together and decided to deceive the parents. So I looked at that sideways because it didn't make sense to me. If you're going to get together with Goomba and decide to deceive his parents and say, okay, these twins are his, when the mother did the DNA and she swabbed those kids and found out it was not his kids, why did he leave? He didn't have to leave Nikki at that point. All he had to do was fess up and say, listen, you guys have been putting the pressure on me all these years. When am I going to have kids? When am I going to have kids? That's why we decided to lie. But I know they're not my kids, and I'm willing to take care of these children as if they're my own. And leave it at that and go on to live a good life with Nikki. But he left her. So that tells me something is not right with this story. I don't know which part is the lie, but there's a lie in this story somewhere. Something ain't clean in the buttermilk, okay?
But as of recently, they've been in touch. As of the moment that we got married, my mother-in-law and Nikki have been in touch. Like I said, this goofy-ass bitch tried this shit 3 years ago when she found out who I was. And she first started trying to attach herself to my name because she's a thirsty, unfortunate individual. But see, my mother-in-law, she's good at pumping dumb mothers up. That's why she likes dumb mothers around all the time. This is my theory. My mother-in-law contacted Nikki, told Nikki what she wanted to hear, made it sound good, and said, we need to save my son from that crazy woman, because that crazy woman, and she's famous, and all she does is expose people, and she just talks shit, and she talks shit, and she's nobody, and she's crazy. And you and Drew, you're going to get back together, and I promise you, we're going to welcome you into the family, and you're going to finally have a family. I guarantee. And then last October, the dumb bitch left panties in my car. I guess you were upset when I didn't throw him out immediately. Me and my husband had to talk about it. Told me what he had to say. I chose to believe him at the time, and that was that. And then I started noticing, but then you started popping up, that y'all were communicating through your eldest daughter's Facebook Messenger. If everything you doing with your chest out and you doing it so big, why are you using your daughter's account?
If what Jaguar is saying is true, well, that's quite obvious. They were using the daughter's account to avoid a problem, to avoid an issue with Jaguar, because they wanted to remain friends, and Jaguar had issue with that, so they did it in a very sneaky manner.
Why? To communicate with my husband. See, my husband lied to me and told me that he was talking to your daughter because you were fucking up as a mom again, and he was just trying to be there for your daughter. That was his excuse.
So we get it. Everybody was lying. Jaguar, Gerald, Nikki, everybody was lying. So where do they go from here?
I know you're not my husband because you lied about his penis. See, you said that I knew dick was small, and I was lying, and it's all lies.
We have a wife who wants her husband back. We have a side chick who is not admitted to be a side chick, by the way, because she says she's just a friend. But she keeps taking Goomba in and kicking him out. So this is one big mess. But this is what Jaguar have to further say concerning the situation. You can take it with a grain of salt because we know she lies also. So it's a bunch of liars. We don't know what is true and what is not true.
After my son was murdered, and he made love to me. He didn't me in an alleyway behind a drug den that I was hanging in, looking for some random nigger to take care of my kid.
Nikki admitted in an interview with the trees, all about the trees, that the way she met Goomba, she was pregnant. She was in Bobby's barbershop with, I think she said, a family member. And then she met Goomba. And they had intimacy shortly thereafter. I don't know if it was a few days after, a week, or the same day. But she said yes. They did have intimacy while she was pregnant with another man's child. Jaguar is saying she was 7 months pregnant when she had first met Goomba and they had an intimate relationship. And Jaguar also said they had that relationship without a condom. And I'm wondering, what was Nikki thinking? No judgment here, but I'm just wondering, what was she thinking? Because a lot of people can learn from that. A lot of women out there who like to cheat while they're pregnant might want to think twice, because any venereal disease that you catch from that man while you're pregnant, you can pass on to your unborn child. Because you have to think that if he's going to sleep with you and he just met you knowing that you're pregnant, then he's got to be on a dirty end, you know? There's some guys like that. They're dirty as heck. They don't care who they sleep with, when, why. They don't care. They're just going to have sex with you unprotected, and they just met you. Those are the guys they call dirty. And if somebody just meet up with you and they want to have sex raw, unprotected sex, you got to wonder about their mindset. How many people are they doing it with? Surely you can't be the only one. So it sounds like everybody in this little town in Texas there knows each other, because according to Jaguar, her father and mother-in-law knows Bobby. Somehow they know Bobby, and that's how Gerald was able to get a job down there at Bobby, because his parents asked Bobby to give him a job. So this is how Bobby and Gerald are connected, through the parents, allegedly, because we don't know if it's true. Jaguar is telling the story, and I can only take her stories with a grain of salt.
His mother and his fake daddy that he's named after that ain't his real daddy. They know Bobby. And they asked Bobby to hire my husband to keep an eye on him so he wouldn't get into trouble. Now let's think about that. My mother-in-law and father-in-law, by law, have a church. They're Pentecostal. their congregation and church, and they were trying to, lure him to God's side, away from the drugs and away from the crime. But Bobby never showed up at that church once. Bobby don't even pay tithes in that church. So, Johnson family, I have to ask, how do you know that scumbag Bobby?
I don't know the Johnson family, and I'm not advocating for them, but I can only say this. You don't have to go to a person's church to know them. Maybe they walked into Bobby's shop trying to get him to come to their church, and since he got a business and they got a son out of work, they asked him if he can hire their son. It's very simple. It don't have to be no drug ties or no underhanded stuff. So Jaguar is just going off the deep end again. But at least if this is true, we get a clear sense of the tying in with Bobby and his family. And she is so mad at Bobby for not protecting her on that day or protecting Solar from Gerald. And she's still mad with Bobby, so she's coming after him. But now we see where Bobby is connected to this family. Apparently, Bobby knows Gerald's mom and dad, who asked him to get Gerald a job at the barbershop. And this is where they're connected. And this is why Gerald, I guess, would always hang out there, and he felt as though Bobby was like a brother to him. It was a home away from home. He can hang out at the barbershop. But Jaguar messed that up. She made sure she messed that relationship up.
Bobby don't even pay tithes in that church. So, Johnson family, I have to ask, how do you know that scumbag Bobby? Because anybody that knows Bobby knows that he's a scumbag. Why would you take your son to go work at a drug den?
This is all alleged what Jaguar is saying because we don't know it to be true. But if they did take their son down there to work at Bobby's barber shop, obviously they did not know it was a drug den. No mother or father would take their child down there to work at any drug den. Not when the mother and the father are ministers in their church.
Where he met trifling bitches like Dirk and Nikki, a.k.a. the new toxic dynasty.
But I don't know why Jaguar is so upset with Nikki and mad at Nikki. Because really, Nikki was there before Jaguar. Nikki knew Gerald before Jaguar. If anything, Nikki should be the one to be upset with Jaguar because after Gerald left Nikki, he went to Jaguar. And then he married Jaguar. So Nikki should be the one who would be upset, right? She should be the one to be upset, not only at Jaguar, but also at Gerald for picking up with Jaguar, who is now cussing her out. But we see where Nikki's very forgiving. But she's got her dirty ways also. I'm looking at her with a side eye. Because when she said she was more than willing to bring Jaguar and her entire family at her home if she did not cuss her out and come after her twins the way she did, she was going to bring the mama in, Jaguar in, Legina, Sam. I said, are you mad? But then I'm sure she got an angle. Everybody got an angle in this story. Right now, Gerald is there and she's collecting $900. If everybody is there, can you imagine the money she'd be collecting? And that's what I think her angle would have been to bring everybody in her home is for the money value, the monetary value for each head. Calculate the thousands of dollars she would get if she had 5 people living at her home and everybody is paying at least $500. And that would be monthly. But look at the headache that would come with that. So Nikki got her ulterior motives also.
Let him fuck her in an alleyway behind a drug den without a condom and sperm all over her unborn child.
In any event, YouTubers, this story is quickly unfolding. Everybody is telling their truth. Apparently, Nikki and Goomba are together. And I guess they're going to be doing their own podcasts because they're all now wanting their own YouTube stories be told. They don't want to jump on anybody else's channel. They want to have their own channel with their story being unfolded on their own channel. So we're going to see how it unfolds. Guys, if you have not subscribed, this is the time before you leave the page. I am over and out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and to this video. Thank you for watching.